Marianne. Charmaine.
Picture this, you're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok and every influencer model, an AI-generated filter seems to be selling the same face. Sculpted cheekbones, a tiny nose, and plump lips and cat-like eyes. It's everywhere from Hollywood red carpets to your phone's beauty filter settings. But here's the question, if beauty is truly subjective, why does it feel like we're all chasing the same look? In the past, beauty standards shifted slowly. One decade, it was Marilyn Monroe's soft curves. The next, it was Kate Moss's waifish frame. But today, beauty trends move at a lightning speed, dictated by algorithms, AI, and plastic surgery fads. It's not just a trend, it's an engineered aesthetic, optimized for engagement. From the ancient Greek golden ratio to the plastic surgery boom of Hollywood's golden age, and now the hyper-filtered Instagram face, we've always tried to define the perfect face. But is it real? Or have we been tricked into believing in a beauty standard that was never truly ours to begin with? In this video, we'll dive into the history, science, and pop culture obsession with facial perfection, and why our perception of beauty has never been more algorithmic, homogenized, and distorted. Here's the thing, beauty standards are constantly shifting, and so is our perception of what's desirable. But if there's one timeless element of allure, it's fragrance. Scent has this incredible ability to shape how people perceive us, and more importantly, how we feel about ourselves. That's why I've been curating my own little fragrance wardrobe, inspired by the timeless elegance of vintage Hollywood. This month, I've been loving a mix of scents that instantly transport me to different eras. First up is Twin Flame by 5 Sen. This one is warm, sensual, and slightly mysterious with notes of amber, vanilla, and spicy saffron. It gives me that old Hollywood candlelit glamour vibe, like something a silver screen starlet would have worn while sipping champagne at an after party. Perfect for evenings when I want to feel effortlessly elegant. Then there's Aura by Dead Cool, a totally different energy. It's clean, fresh, and a little edgy, with bergamot, crisp violet, and sandalwood. It makes me think of those chic, off-duty actresses in the 60s, effortlessly stylish, but never trying too hard. I love wearing this on days when I want to feel put together but not overdone. And here's the secret to making a fragrance last. Apply it to your pulse points, like the wrists and behind the ears, and even give a light mist through your hair for a subtle, lasting impression. The best part? You don't have to commit to full-size bottles to explore your signature scent. That's where Scentbird comes in. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that lets you try a new designer or niche perfume every month, with over 900 authentic scents from brands like Prada, Versace, and hidden gems like Navitas perfumes. Each fragrance comes in a sleek, travel-friendly vial with a 30-day supply, so you can test it out before committing to a full bottle. And right now, Scentbird is offering 55% off your first month. That means your first fragrance is just $8. Scan the QR code or use my promo code LauraJane at checkout to get 55% off your first month. That's LauraJane for 55% off. Trust me, Scentbird is just as much part of my personal style as fashion or makeup. It's your invisible accessory, so why not experiment a little? You might just find the one. Oh, and before I forget, a huge thank you to Scentbird for making it so easy and affordable to explore new fragrances. Let me know in the comments if you could bottle up any era and history into a perfume. What would it smell like? Now let's get back into the main video. Chapter 1, the golden ratio and the illusion of mathematical beauty. If you've ever fallen down a beauty rabbit hole, you've probably heard of the golden ratio, the idea that a face with a 1.618 proportion is mathematically perfect. This so-called divine ratio has been used to rank celebrity faces, shape plastic surgery trends, and even train AI-powered beauty filters. But is beauty really something that can be measured? The idea of a quantifiable beauty dates back to ancient Greece, where philosophers like Pythagoras and Euclid believed that symmetry and proportion were not just aesthetically pleasing but divine. They saw mathematics as the blueprint of nature, finding the golden ratio in everything from seashells to architecture, and of course the human face. The obsession carried into the Renaissance, where artists like Leonardo da Vinci used the ratio in works like the Vitruvian Man and attempt to map out the perfect human proportions. The belief was simple: the closer something aligned to this ratio, the closer it was to aesthetic perfection. Fast forward to the 21st century, and the golden ratio has made its way into plastic surgery consultations, Instagram beauty filters, and even viral celebrity rankings. In 2019, Dr. Julian D. Silva, a London-based plastic surgeon, used the golden ratio to analyze celebrity faces and declared Bella Hadid the most mathematically beautiful woman in the world. But what does this actually mean? Does it mean that people who don't fit this ratio are less beautiful? And why is this metric being applied to real human faces when beauty has always been subjective and culturally fluid? I mean, she said so much surgery, so she's not naturally the most mathematical, perfect face. The issue is the golden ratio is a deeply Eurocentric concept of beauty. It favors thin, symmetrical noses, high cheekbones, and proportionally balanced features. Characteristics that align with Western beauty ideals but don't reflect the vast diversity of global beauty standards. The golden ratio, rather than being a universal measure of beauty, is just another example of how science has been used to reinforce narrow, exclusionary ideals. The attempt to scientifically measure beauty isn't new, it's just been rebranded for the digital age. In the Victorian era, phrenology, the pseudoscience of measuring skull shapes, was used to determine intelligence and attractiveness. The idea was that certain facial features were inherently superior, a belief fed into racial and class discrimination. In the early 20th century, eugenicists used facial symmetry to justify racist ideals, pushing the belief that certain ethnic features were undesirable or less evolved. Even early Hollywood casting relied on facial measurement charts, selecting actresses who had the most mathematically ideal features. Now, in the age of AI and social media, with the same pattern repeating, the golden ratio is just a new version of an old obsession with controlling beauty standards. But instead of Victorian skull measurements or Hollywood casting charts, we now have plastic surgery consultations, AI-powered facial recognition, and TikTok beauty filters reinforcing the same rigid ideals. If beauty were truly about math, why have beauty ideals changed so dramatically over time? The most desirable face of the 50s, like Marilyn Monroe's soft round features, is completely different from the heroin chic aesthetic of the 90s, seen in Kate Moss's angular, waifish look, or the Instagram face of today, defined by the ultra-snatched, high cheekbone symmetry. The truth is the idea of a perfect face is a shifting target, dictated by cultural trends, media influence, and now digital algorithms. But what happens when AI starts deciding what's beautiful for us? That's exactly what's happening in the age of the Instagram face. Plastic surgery trends and facial recognition software, and it's reshaping beauty in a way we've never seen before. And it is creepy to think that we're all end up looking like weird AI robots based on an algorithm and a filter. And Chapter 2, From Hollywood Bombshells to the Instagram Face, the copy and paste era of beauty. Before social media, beauty standards were dictated by Hollywood, a powerful industry that not only shaped what people found attractive, but also had the resources to physically alter celebrities to fit the ideal look of the time. Beauty was not just a natural trait, but something carefully constructed through styling, makeup, and increasingly plastic surgery. The stars of old Hollywood, the bombshells of the 50s and 60s, embodied a version of beauty that seemed effortless, yet behind the scenes, their appearances were often the result of surgical enhancements and studio-controlled makeovers. During Hollywood's golden age, figures like Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor, and Grace Kelly became synonymous with beauty, yet many of them underwent subtle cosmetic procedures to refine their looks. Marilyn Monroe, for instance, reportedly had a chin implant and a nose job to create her signature delicate yet defined features. The Hollywood studio system was notorious for pushing actors towards surgical alterations, dental reconstructions, and even hairline reshaping to make them more conventionally attractive. Plastic surgery was still a new and discreet industry, but it was already playing a role in defining what is considered naturally beautiful. The work of pioneering cosmetic surgeons like Dr. John Orlando Rowe, who specialized in nose jobs as early as the late 1800s, laid the foundation for the growing idea that beauty could and perhaps should be surgically enhanced. By the 1990s, beauty standards shifted again. This was the era of the supermodel, when the most famous women in the world, think of Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, and Kate Moss and Tyra Banks, were known for their distinctive features rather than a single uniform standard of beauty. Unlike today's AI-enhanced and surgically replicated faces, the supermodel era celebrated uniqueness. Cindy Crawford's iconic mole, Kate Moss's androgynous waif-like look, and Tyra Banks' striking bone structure set them apart from one another, proving that beauty could exist in multiple forms. Even in Hollywood, actresses like Drew Barrymore, Winona Ryder, and Angelina Jolie had vastly different aesthetics, and there was no singular formula dictating how a beautiful woman should look. But with the rise of social media filters and cosmetic enhancements, the concept of the Instagram face emerged. Coined by journalist Gia Tolentino, the Instagram face describes the eerily uniform look that dominates influencer culture and celebrity beauty in the digital age. It's a face that looks effortlessly symmetrical, yet in reality is a product of technology, surgery, and digital manipulation. Instagram face is marked by a series of specific features: high sculpted cheekbones, a small upturned nose, huge almond-shaped eyes, full lips, and a sharp yet delicate jawline. It's an extreme version of beauty that blurs the line between the natural and the digitally perfected. If this face seems familiar, it's because it's everywhere. It's a composite look, part Kim Kardashian, part Bella Hadid, part AI-generated filter. Even celebrities with natural unique features like Bella Hadid, Kendall Jenner, and Ariana Grande have subtly reshaped their faces through nose jobs, lip fillers, and fox eye surgeries to conform to this ideal. What makes the Instagram face different from past beauty trends is that it's not just a Hollywood construct, it's an algorithm-driven beauty standard. The social media platforms actively promote this. On Instagram and TikTok, faces that fit this mold receive more engagement, which means they are rewarded with more visibility and likes and social validation. Unlike the era of supermodels, where distinct beauty traits were celebrated, we're now living in a time where homogenization is the goal. This isn't just a passing trend, it's a symptom of technology deciding what beauty is. Social media platforms, AI-powered filters, and the plastic surgery industry have converged to create a singular beauty blueprint, one that is easy to replicate, highly marketable, and increasingly difficult to resist. So the question is, if everyone starts looking the same, do we lose the idea of beauty altogether? Chapter 3. AI filters and the algorithm that decides who is beautiful. For most of history, beauty standards were dictated by magazines, Hollywood, directors, and fashion designers. Industries that relied on human judgment to determine what was considered attractive. But today, beauty is being determined by artificial intelligence. Instead of casting agents or fashion editors making these decisions, it's algorithms, machine learning, and facial recognition software that are shaping what we define as attractive. Every time you scroll through social media, AI is analyzing which faces receive the most engagement. It tracks, likes, and shares comments, identifying patterns in what people find visually appealing. The more people interact with certain facial features, like the big almond-shaped eyes, full lips, and perfectly contoured cheekbones, the more the algorithm pushes that aesthetic to the forefront. This creates a feedback loop, reinforcing the idea that only a specific kind of face is beautiful. The more this image of beauty is circulated, the more people internalize it, believing it has to be the standard they should aspire to. Filters have taken this even further, subtly and sometimes drastically altering how people see themselves. It started with playful features like Snapchat's dog filters, but quickly evolved into beauty filters with slim noses, plump lips, as well as brightening the skin, all under the guise of enhancing natural beauty. TikTok's bold glamour filter is one of the most advanced, yet it doesn't just smooth skin and add a glow. It actively reshapes facial features in real time with such precision that it even tricks facial tracking software. Unlike earlier filters that were easily to spot, today's technology creates a flawless but artificial version of users' face that looks hyper-realistic. And what's the result? Many people begin preferring their filtered selves over their real appearance. Some of those filters are crazy. I have a feeling pretty soon in movies, like all actresses and actors are going to have these filters on their faces. When millions of people use these filters daily, our collective perception of beauty shifts. Natural faces begin to look wrong, while filtered faces start to look right. The once subtle gap between reality and digital enhancement becomes more pronounced, leading to a rise in cosmetic procedures designed to mimic digital beauty enhancements. Plastic surgeons are reporting an increase in Snapchat dysmorphia, a phenomenon where patients bring in filtered selfies as surgery inspiration, requesting procedures that make them look like their digitally altered selves. Nose jobs to mimic the small, upturned nose seen in filters, lip filters to maintain the plump, natural look, and the buccal fat removal to achieve the ultra-sculpted cheekbones, which have all skyrocketed in popularity as beauty moves closer to the AI-generated aesthetic. We're just all becoming cyborg robots now. Even more disturbing is how these AI-driven beauty standards aren't just shaping social media, they're influencing real-world systems. Hiring software that uses facial recognition has been found to favor symmetrical Eurocentric features, reinforcing biases that disproportionately disadvantage individuals with unconventional beauty, features that don't conform to the westernized ideals. Security systems, facial scanning apps, and even dating algorithms are more likely to favor faces that fit the AI version of beauty, further ingraining the standards into everyday life. This isn't just about beauty, it's about technological reshaping human perception. AI isn't just reflecting back what people find attractive, it's actively deciding what beauty should look like, rewarding those who conform while subtly penalizing those who don't. And as a result, people who don't fit into this algorithmically approved mold are not just excluded from social rewards of beauty, but may even face economic disadvantages. When attractiveness becomes something machine determined, beauty ceases to be a matter of personal or cultural preference. It becomes standardized, programmed ideal, one that's constantly shifting but always rooted in perfection that doesn't exist in nature. That's so scary. It honestly sounds like a creepy sci-fi movie where we're heading. Chapter 4, The TikTok Beauty Factory, Trend Cycles That Erase Individuality. If Instagram and AI filters dictate the blueprint for beauty, then TikTok acts as the production line, churning out the latest micro adjustments people should make to their faces to stay on trend. TikTok isn't just a platform for entertainment, it's an accelerator of beauty standards, where cosmetic procedures, skincare treatments, and makeup hacks rise and fall in popularity at a speed never seen before. Every few months, a new facial tweak goes viral, sending thousands of people to plastic surgeons or dermatologists in pursuit of an aesthetic that will make them feel more beautiful or at least more in line with what the algorithm deems attractive. One of the biggest trends to emerge from the TikTok beauty machine is the buccal fat removal, a procedure designed to hollow out the cheeks to create that sharp, angular, popularized by supermodels and influencers. At first, the trend seemed exclusive to celebrities like stars like Bella Hadid and Lea Michele, who are rumored to have undergone the procedure. But once TikTok took hold of it, the demand skyrocketed, surgeons reporting an increase of patients, many of whom were in their early 20s, requesting this look to have their naturally full, youthful faces sculpting to something more sharper and angular. If it seems really painful to have the inside of your cheeks cut out, I'm sorry, this is very disturbing. When I first heard about the surgery, I was like, this is crazy. The irony, of course, is that the buccal fat naturally diminishes with age, meaning many of these patients end up regretting this procedure when their faces naturally lose volume over time. It's true. It's like, why would you want to take away that youthful volume? But the TikTok beauty machine doesn't care about long-term consequences. It only cares about what's trending now. And another trend that has swept through TikTok is obviously the lip flip procedure that uses Botox to subtly flip the upper lip, making it appear fuller without the need of fillers. Unlike the dramatic lip filler trends of Kylie Jenner, the lip flip is marketed as a natural enhancement, reinforcing the new standard that beauty work should be undetectable, yet still conforming to a hyper-idealized image. This is the paradox of modern beauty. Procedures are becoming more common, but they're expected to be subtle enough so people can claim they woke up like this. TikTok fuels this expectation by showcasing transformation after transformation, conditioning us to believe that even the most minor facial enhancements are necessary steps in achieving the ideal look. One of the most controversial trends to emerge is the fox eye surgery, a cosmetic procedure that lifts the outer corners of the eyes to create that long cat eye-like shape. This look was popularized by Bella Hadid and Kendall Jenner, and it became a TikTok obsession, with users attempting to recreate the effect using makeup, tape, and eventually surgery. What made the trend particularly troubling was its appropriation of almond-shaped eyes, a natural feature of many Asian individuals, yet one that had historically been stigmatized. While Asian women were subjected to double eyelid surgeries to achieve a more westernized appearance, for decades, suddenly the natural slanted eye shape was being surgically replicated by non-Asian women in a trend-driven pursuit of exoticism. It was a stark reminder of how beauty trends are not just aesthetic preferences, but are deeply tied to historical and cultural biases. Unlike past beauty standards, which evolved over decades, TikTok makes beauty hyper-temporary and easily replicated. In the 90s, it took years for supermodels' looks to influence mainstream beauty. Trends moved slowly, dictated by fashion magazines, celebrity culture, and high-end runway shows. Now, TikTok can make a single beauty tweak and turn it into a worldwide phenomenon in just weeks. The result is a culture of constant aesthetic dissatisfaction, where people are always chasing an ever-changing impossible ideal. As soon as one look is deemed perfect, a new micro-trend emerges to make people feel inadequate all over again. The most dangerous aspect of the TikTok-driven beauty factory is that it erases individuality in favor of a singular algorithmic ideal. While beauty has always been subject to trends, there was once room for a variety, different face shapes, unique features, and even imperfections that become part of someone's signature look. And today, beauty is becoming standardized, optimized for engagement rather than personal expression. The pressure to conform is no longer coming just from celebrities or fashion magazines. It's coming from an algorithm that rewards sameness and punishes deviation. The question remains, if beauty becomes a one-size-fits-all mold, do we lose the essence of what makes beauty, well, beautiful? And more importantly, how can we break free from the TikTok beauty machine before it dictates just how we see ourselves, but how we define beauty altogether? Chapter 5, The Future of Beauty, Can We Break Free from the Algorithm? It's almost like the robots are taking over. If beauty has become an algorithm-driven construct engineered by AI, social media filters, and plastic surgery trends, the question is, can we ever reclaim it? Are we destined to conform to increasingly narrow artificial standard? Or is there a way to push back and redefine beauty in our own terms? For the first time in history, beauty isn't just influenced by magazines, Hollywood, or even plastic surgery. It's shaped by engagement metrics, AI-driven preferences, and an infinite scroll of social media. This shift has fundamentally changed how we perceive attractiveness, making beauty feel like something quantifiable and attainable. If you're willing to tweak yourself enough to fit the mold, but with beauty ideals becoming more homogenous and the pressures to conform increasing, people are beginning to question the system and look for ways to rebel against this algorithmic beauty. One sign of pushback is the growing movement towards the anti-beauty trend. Some individuals, particularly Gen Z and younger millennials, are actively rejecting the over-polished AI-perfected look and embracing a more natural aesthetic. The rise of the clean girl look, championed by celebrities like Hailey Bieber, was an early sign of this movement, but even that aesthetic came with its own unattainable standard. Now we're seeing an ever greater rejection of traditional beauty ideals through trends like the messy, undone makeup, soft goth aesthetics, and the revival of 90s grunge. These styles, in contrast to the perfectly sculpted Instagram-optimized look, embrace imperfection and authenticity. A larger cultural shift is also happening in the fashion and beauty industries, where brands are starting to recognize that the danger of this homogenized beauty. High fashion has begun celebrating unique features and conventional beauty, bringing models with distinctive looks such as gap teeth, strong noses, and asymmetrical features to the forefront. While this is still a relatively small movement compared to the overwhelming dominance of the Instagram face, it signals a desire for something more diverse and less dictated by the algorithm. I honestly find it refreshing when I'm watching a TV or movie and someone doesn't look like an algorithm face. The rise of AI and facial recognition technology, however, poses an even greater challenge. Even as people try to embrace more diverse beauty ideals, the reality is that our digital and economic lives are becoming increasingly shaped by AI. in favor of specific facial structures. Whether it's dating apps, job application software, or social media platforms themselves, AI is constantly making split-second judgments about what faces are deemed attractive, trustworthy, or successful. Studies have already shown that facial recognition software tends to favor lighter skin tones, symmetrical faces, and Eurocentric features, reinforcing the biases that go far beyond beauty standards and seep into professional and social opportunities. This means that even if people actively reject algorithmic beauty, the system we interact with every day may continue to push a singular ideal. So what does breaking free from algorithmic beauty actually look like? The first step is awareness, understanding that what we see on our screen is not an organic evolution of beauty standards, but a manufactured aesthetic designed for engagement. The next step is intentionally curating our digital spaces, choosing to follow creators and influencers who don't conform to the AI-optimized beauty, embracing a wider range of beauty expressions, and pushing back against trends that promote excessive alterations to natural features. A more radical step might involve changing the way we interact with social media altogether. Some experts have suggested that platforms should stop using beauty filters by default, or at the very least require disclaimers when an image has been digitally altered. Others argue that AI-driven beauty rankings should be regulated so that facial recognition software doesn't further entrench beauty biases in industries like hiring, dating, or content promotion. Even now with YouTube, when you upload a video, you have to mark if it has any AI-alterated images, so maybe they should start doing that with other platforms too. And whether these changes will actually happen remains to be seen, but the conversation around them is growing louder. In the end, the question remains, is beauty something that we can truly reclaim, or has technology taken over our perception of attractiveness forever? If history has shown us anything, it's that beauty ideals have always been cyclical. Trends come and go, and what is considered desirable today may be outdated tomorrow. But the difference now is that beauty is no longer dictated by human taste alone. It has been shaped by data, algorithms, and AI preferences that are far harder to challenge. If we want to reclaim beauty as something that is diverse, personal, and ever evolving, we have to first acknowledge the invisible forces shaping it, and then choose to resist them. So what do you think? Are we moving towards a future where beauty becomes more diverse again, or will technology continue to reshape our standards? It's just so disturbing that now robots are deciding what is beautiful, and throughout history, beauty has always been influenced by culture and media and social norms, but today we're witnessing something very different. Beauty is being dictated by AI. What was once evolved over decades through fashion and film is now engineered in real time by algorithms, favoring certain looks for digital perfection. The ancient Greek golden ratio to Hollywood's plastic surgery boom to the Instagram face phenomenon, we've seen how beauty standards have always been shaped by external forces, but never before has beauty been so quantifiable, so optimized for engagement, so detached from human subjectivity. All the AI, filters, and social media cosmetic trends have created a world where beauty is no longer an organic expression, but an ever-shifting machine curated ideal. The pressure to conform isn't just social, it's programmed into everyday platforms, reinforcing an unattainable aesthetic that can be modified but never truly satisfied. Yet, as with every beauty trend in history, there's always resistance. The rise of the anti-trend beauty movements, high fashions embark on unconventional looks, and younger generations rejecting this perfection, who are starting to push back. Beauty, after all, has always been subjective and fluid and deeply personal. So let me know in the comments below. Are we handing over the power to algorithms and letting AI dictate our perceptions, reclaiming beauty to something that cannot be coded, quantified, or rank? Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are we moving toward a world where beauty becomes more diverse again, or will technology continue to narrow our standards? Have you noticed social media influencing the way we see our own beauty? And thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out some of my other videos.